here, USA. So I hope everybody is having an amazing day. I wanted to come on live. I'm actually sitting here working on messing with this Cricut project that I'm doing, and I said, why not come on and do a Q&A all at the same time. So what I'm about to do is project can I support current machine selection results. Like, okay, what do you mean? Am I not able to do a wavy cut? Is that what that means? Hey, I'm not sure. Am I not able to do a wavy cut? Am I only supposed to do straight cuts? Hi. So I'm not a pro with this Cricut. I'm just kind of playing around with it. To me, if you're not a person who has a lot of patience for Cricuts, you can't really mess with them. And I don't have a ton of patience for Cricut. It's definitely for those arts and craftsy people. Okay, let's see. I don't even know what my Salon machine selection is. What do I have? The maker? Is that what I have? How do you know what you have? Thank you. So apparently I have a maker and cannot really do what I want to do with it. I don't know. Good evening. Oh, geez. Let me see if I just put it to cut. Major question. What do I do after I style my hair? Because I sweat out of my head, so styles never stay in. Wash your hair and redo it. That's what all of us sweaters do. It's not really anything that you can do after the fact. That's just what we deal with. I would definitely say try to get styles that can hold up through you perspiring. That's really all you can do. Get something that will hold up through the perspiration. That's really it. How is everything going? Still praying. Lady T, we are, when I say everything is like over and done with, we are back to life, back to regular life. I do not know what I'm doing, you guys. Like, I am so aggravated with this. I really have no clue what I'm doing. Let's read some questions here. How did you settle in? Oh, we settled in good. Very good. The message about not getting my download. Genevieve, oh my gosh. You still have not gotten that download? I even sent you the direct download. Like, I don't know. I was trying to send it again today. My question is rather the roller set with silk prep works well on 4 hair types. I'm not understanding the question. How often should you use a protein treatment to your hair, even using green tea? I don't know anything about green tea. Protein treatments are used just as needed. So it's based on when you really need it. It's like a Band-Aid on the boo-boo. But there's no, I don't really know anything about the green tea part of the question. But with protein, you use it just like a Band-Aid, only when you need it. I'm completely bald. Is there anything that can be done? There's no way for me to kind of answer that question. Why? Because I can't actually see your scalp, but I will say definitely visit a dermatologist. They can see if you have any live follicles. They can test for fungus, that kind of stuff. That's kind of like your first round right there, letting them do the preliminary checks. I'm located in Altamont. Using products with keratin every day is bad. An overload of keratin is like an overload of protein. So yes, it can be bad. What kind of relaxer can be used for gray salt and pepper hair? Sandra, if you know anything about me, I do not talk chemical talk on my lives, so that would be a question that your stylist would need to be asking, and more than likely your stylist already knows that. So that's not something that I would speak about on a live, because I don't know if you're a licensed cosmetologist. I don't know anything. So that's just something that's just respect to my craft, respect to my career. Hi, I'm experiencing, thank you, Trine. Crystal, I'm experiencing thinning in the top of my head, help. So Latoya, same thing for you. Like, I like to be very upfront. Let me explain to you guys how I think, okay? When it comes on to thinning, it's easy for you to just say, hey, I'm thinning, what do I do? It's easy for us to say, hey, my elbow hurts, what do I do? Hey, my heart hurts, what do I do, right? So by us just saying that, can you just ask anyone that specific question without knowing any preliminary information? Have you done any blood work? Have you seen a dermatologist? Has the dermatologist deemed that it was maybe a fungus or maybe a ringworm of some sort, right? Because those also can remove hair. Have you been diagnosed with alopecia? These are the things that really need to be known at the beginning before I can really give you guys a stable answer and be okay with my answer. Now, I can give you recommendations of products a million times a day. But if I don't know at the end of the day what underlying things may be going on or more information where I can make a good judgment call and say, hey, you probably need to see a dermatologist first, then you're going to hear me kind of give you the same answer over and over and over again, no matter who the person is. So if you have just started experiencing thinning and you haven't even done the preliminary part as to going to see a professional dermatologist that has the ability to do culturing, biopsies, whatever, then how can I recommend you something by just that's just basically meaning I'm giving you faith in something and I don't know anything about you. I know nothing in regards to the backstory. So with that being said, you guys, how my Q&As work, because that kind of leads me right in. How Q&As work, Q&As are designed for me to, of course, assist you guys with whatever products I can recommend. But at the same time, you have to give me key information, okay? Things like, what's your porosity? Have you been diagnosed with alopecia? What type of alopecia have you been diagnosed with? Do you not have you not gone to a dermatologist? Maybe you have gone to a dermatologist. Maybe you have health issues. You're taking a billion different tablets a day. I have to know a little bit more backstory than just the vague question, right? Because I can't give you an answer and stand firm on my answer because all I'm doing is selling product. Yes, I am a seller of product. Absolutely. But I do the Q&As because I really want to help you guys and not just sell product. I can sell product with my eyes closed. I do this on a regular day. I am a retail brand, right? But I want to be able to really point you guys in the right direction with the right information. So if you guys can be as descriptive, I hate this mark on my face right here, it drives me nuts, as descriptive as possible, but also as brief as possible, I can give you guys a better answer. All right, so let's go back. They say green tea helps with shedding. They say green tea helps with arthritis. They say green tea helps with the heart. They say green tea helps with your trash. Green tea helps with the grass. Green tea helps with your car. Yes, green tea does help. So does any other tea. But that really is not going to solve the problem. You can drink a billion gallons of green tea and it's still caffeine at the end of the day. So I would have preferred you said an egg over green tea than anything else. And even that doesn't do anything. Did the price of the growth serum get higher? Not to my knowledge. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think so. Grasshopper, large pin curls when you don't want to do the wet sets. It's kind of hard to do a large pin curl though when you don't want to do a wet set because the hair is so wet. It needs some type of structure to lay on. So hit or miss. I wish you were here to do my hair, Crystal. Do you know any hairstylists that are good here in Houston? I don't have any affiliates in Houston, my love. My hair is really thinning on top. Is there anything extra I can do to stop from going completely bald? So Lynn, my statement that I made before is also a part to your question. You have to give me more detail than that. What do you recommend for dry, salt, pepper, natural hair? So, Vanessa, one of two things. What is your porosity? So, if you're low porosity, salt and pepper, natural, and very dry, which kind of goes hand in hand with salt and pepper and low porosity, then I'd say our moist repair collection. If you are high porosity, dry, and salt and pepper, and relaxed, then I'd say the hair repair and restore, or even the Empress collection. How can I get an appointment? My website is elitehaircareusa.com. Dilemma, I never had long hair. Now that my hair is at my bra strap, I don't know what to do with it. Endless ponytails and wraps at night. Fine textured hair. So Grasshopper, there's a couple things you can do. Number one, you can get some layers. Layers help to change up their style. Number two, I understand we all want that amazingly long hair, but this kind of comes with it. When you get the long hair, you don't know what to do with it. You get bored because really all you can do is curls, layers, add a little color. You can do a little color here and there. But at the same time, is that giving you any form of style? No. And us as women, we always want to change our style. So, there's nothing wrong with taking an inch or two off, changing it up, giving it some texture, some layers. You can do that as well. Crystal, can you have low porosity hair and also fine textured hair? Absolutely. You can have low porosity hair and be any texture. But at the same time, I kind of feel that fine textured hair typically leans more on the high porosity side because it's so fine and it lays so flat, it absorbs almost anything. That makes perfect sense. Didn't know a dermatologist would diagnose your hair problem. Dermatologists are not really here to diagnose your hair problem. They are here to do the preliminary checks of what could possibly be the culprit behind the hair problem. Because hair is so deep. It can get so deep. It can get far past, oh, you just have female pattern baldness. Okay, great. That's just a very vague category of alopecia, right? But you can be female pattern baldness, low porosity, salt and pepper with color. And then they don't go that far. They go at the surface and below. That's really what they care about. And technically, they're not even really so much surface, they're more below. Because what dermatologists do, they're not like trichologists where they're literally looking at the follicles with a scope. They're not doing these things. They're using blood work and physical eye examination to determine what the problem could be along with your history. They're not going to go as deep, and that's why trichologists are a thing now. That is why trichologists are the ones that typically will go a little deeper and they can scope the area. Dermatologists can also order biopsies, that kind of thing. And dermatologists, remember, dermatology is a part of medical. That's an MD. So their goal is to find some form of medication because they believe in treating with what? Medication, medical. They go in the same family. So they're going to find what product works best for that situation because they want to, of course, give you good results. But at the same time, they're not going to go much deeper than that. Hey, Dad. Michelle, I have thinning in the top of my head. Seen a dermatologist and he said it is adult balding, okay, female pattern baldness, and that it happens when you get older. Okay, that's very true. It can happen as you mature. I'm using a medication that he gave me, a medication to slow it down. Okay, so he probably gave you inhibitors, which is another form of defense. Because once you have female pattern baldness or even male pattern baldness, you can't stop genetics. That's your genetics. Those two come from hormones and genes, right? Female pattern baldness, male pattern baldness, or androgenic alopecia. Those come from your genes, right? So you can't technically change your genes, but you can slow it down. And they're really, I think they call them like inhibitors or blockers. I can't remember which one is which, but that's more than likely what he gave you. I always condition my hair, mask, conditioners, etc., but my ends are still dry because you probably need a trim and you're holding on to them for dear death life. It doesn't matter how much you condition. It doesn't matter how much you put mask. It doesn't matter how much luxury hair product you use, whether it be mine or someone else's. If you're not trimming enough or you haven't caught up to the point where you're taking off those split ends that probably now need to be a haircut, they're going to always be dry. They're going to always be an issue. Thanks, Tanetta. Is rolling my hair better and is silk rollers better? I mean, Everything has a yin and a yang, right? So yes, you can do roller sets all day long, but there's also a such thing as too much tension on a roller set, and then it starts to what? Snap the hair at the same line all the way across. Same thing with sponge rollers. Sponge rollers, as good as and as bad, not a lot of horror stories with sponge rollers. As good and as bad as they may be, sponge rollers also cause tension and can break. So it's kind of like a yin and a yang. Everything you can do with moderation. Just think moderation. It's not every single day you need to roller set your hair. It's not every single weekend you need to roller set your hair. Some days you can do a wrap. Take the tension away. Wrapping is actually very good for the hair because it allows you to distribute those natural oils without added tension because all you're doing is wrapping it around your head. How often should you use the Moist Me 24 karat mask? You can use it every wash day if it's your choice. It's really based on what your hair needs. So you guys know when I speak, I always say, listen to your hair. I speak about hair like it's a person, okay? Listen to your hair. It's not what your hair needed a week ago. It's not what your hair needed a year ago. It's not how your hair used to be when you were 20 and now you're 45. It's about what your hair is doing between now and maybe a day or two ago. Right now and a day or two ago. And also sometimes what you're about to do to your hair can also determine when you need to use one of our products. So the Moist Me is a moisturizing intense hydration mask. It is a mask. So the purpose of it is to do what? Intensely hydrate really dehydrated or not even somewhat dehydrated or even low porosity hair. So you're gonna use it in the sense whenever you need that particular type of service. I don't use green tea on my hair. It's just what's floating around. Girl, if you listen to everybody on YouTube, they tell you to shave your edges off and they'll grow back thick. People on YouTube tell you to mix up eggs and avocado. It gives you protein. People on YouTube tell you to use dirt and cement and then encase it around your edges and it will grow back. People tell you on YouTube to put monostat on your edges because it could be a fungus. Like everything is just fungus all of a sudden. Monostat is a fungal killer. That's really what it really is. So they're telling you to paste monostat on your edges. People tell you on YouTube a lot. So be mindful a lot of the things you hear on YouTube. People were also telling you to use rice water and it's going to grow your hair, grow your hair. And later on, people quickly found out that rice water, as nasty as you guys know how I feel about it, rice water is raw protein and too much protein does what? Breaks the hair off. And that's exactly what started to happen to a lot of these people. So yes, people love to listen. YouTube will lead you astray sometimes. You have to learn how to be discerned on certain types of information. Take what you need and go. Are your products only for curly hair? I don't have curly hair, my love. I have a relaxer. So no, it is for every hair type. Almost every hair texture can be supported in my product line. I relax my hair bone straight. This is Church 8. I relax my hair bone straight. I know you recommend relaxing with texture, but I like the straightness and never use a base. My scalp does not burn. Is it okay? I do have coarse hair. I don't use base on my scalp. I don't really need base for my relaxer. So it's really based on the person. Like I don't always base every single client either because some bases can also be a hindrance to the relaxer. And now you have to sit a lot longer with that same relaxer. Base is more of a layer of protection for those who really irritated their scalp. But most bases are petroleum based. So they hinder the speed and the processing of the relaxer. That's why some people get a lot of under-processed hair because you go slather 5 years worth of base on your head thinking that you're protecting yourself from something when really that relaxer now has to work double time to get through that petroleum. I have dyed locks. What products should I use from your line? Jolene, you're still in the same boat. Regardless if you had locks or you had straight hair, you really want to focus on what your hair needs. Is it dehydrated? If it is dehydrated, then you'd use our moisture line. Or if you're always dealing with it feeling very, very dry, which locks can do that a lot, it's very dehydrated and dry because you don't really put much on it and it's matted hair. Matted hair also is matted split ends. So that hair is it's losing everything you put in. That's why it never looks moisturized and most dreads look dull in color because it's just matted split ended hair. So if you're having that situation, then you can use the moist repair. But if your dreads are severely weak right? Or your new growth seems to be very weak, then that tells you that you also need to start strengthening. You can do protein treatments if you need to. You can also use the hair repair and restore if it's just very damaged. Or you can use the Empress Collection if you just want to make that hair a lot stronger, which the Empress Collection is infused with horsetail butter. Horsetail butter, if you know horsetail butter. Okay, that's a great ingredient for strengthening damaged hair. So yes. Love your products. What would you recommend for sore scalp? I can't really recommend anything for sore scalp because I don't know why the scalp is sore. Let's start there. I wanted to know, if I get my hair done by you, can I request a hot comb for my edges, or you don't use it at all? Nick, I do everything at my discretion. That's just how I work when it comes on to what tool I use, specifically also what products I use. Why? Because I'm a stylist where I'm very comfortable in what I know. And just because the client said, can you use the hot comb on my edges? But tell me why you want me to use the hot comb on your edges. Tell me what is the reasoning that you feel I need to use a hot comb versus the opposite way of how I would normally do hair. Because if I'm going to use the hot comb, my decision to use the hot comb is based on a number of different parameters. The texture of your hair, if your hair is reverting a little too much, those different things. Not because you say, oh, can you use the hot comb on my edges? But why? What legitimate reason would I need to use the hot comb versus if I was doing my opposite way that I still prove success with? So that's how I am. Now, I'm not against a person asking a question because I never shut them down. But you have to legitimately sometimes tell me why I need to do something outside of how I would be doing it on the normal, because I know what works based on my expertise of how long I've been doing hair. Now, with that being said, again, that doesn't mean that I don't listen to my clients. I take in consideration what my clients request, but sometimes the requests are just merely that, requests. And sometimes people are just coming in with requests based on something that someone else told them that didn't have any knowledge themselves, and they just gave you some knowledge, and now you think that that's all it is. So I like to also hear why my clients ask for certain things. And in 95% of the time, the things that they ask me, and they finally give me the reason of why or where they got it, and I'm like, and you listen to that? Why? And you don't even need that. So it's a yin and a yang for me. Just know that. And I'm the stylist that's going to tell you if I agree or disagree. That's just how I am. I'm going to tell you if I agree, if I disagree, and I've just lived my life that way, and it works. Because I'm not going to lead my client astray. Never going to do that. There's not enough money for me to lead you to the left. Let's go back. Sorry, you guys. You guys know some of my questions require specific answers. And that's me. Geez, you guys are moving really quick. I've been on antidepressants for years. Can that be a part of my issue? Lynn, what I would do is Google antidepressant or whatever product you're using, right? So whatever pill you're using. Let's say you were on Adderall. I'm just giving you a name. I would say Adderall, and I would Google Adderall and hair loss, Adderall and hair damage, Adderall and dehydration of hair, and see what legitimate information comes up. And when I say legitimate information, I don't mean what a doctor has written in some type of clinical trial. I always look for what real people are saying, right? Because real people are going to give you their real thoughts. Whereas doctors, their goal is to keep you on certain medications, keep you within that scope because they agree with that medication. So I like to look for real people telling me real answers. Quota or Quora. Quora is a good forum where people can really write how they feel and how something is making them feel for you to see if this is an actual thing, if this is a real problem. You just answered my question about alopecia. Also, your growth balm is helping my crown. I'm seeing growth. Any affiliates in Albuquerque, New Mexico? So number one, Rosalind, thank you so much for that great review. Really, really appreciate it. Yes, the Growth Balm is absolutely amazing. It is an awesome scalp product. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Answer to your second question about an affiliate. No, I do not have any affiliates in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I do not. Hey, Barbados. Thank you, Tamika. Thank you, Cup of Joe. Do you do lock maintenance? I do not. The only person I'll do their locks is Junie. I barely want to do that. Blessed Sunday, everyone. Crystal, what is the Goddess Super Growth Serum good for? And when should I use it? So, our products are named the way they're named on purpose. We make our products with the names that they have, so you know exactly what it's for. So with that being said, the Super Growth Serum is for growth, and growth, right? So when we say growth, that serum is not growing that strand. It is number one, helping to clear the scalp of its congestion. That's why you place it on the scalp, right? At scalp level. It is used to help clear the scalp of any congestion, help to slightly or moderately reduce inflammation, which does hinder the hair from growing. That is how a lot of these products work, you guys. So when people say growth, they don't mean that the follicle is going to grow from mid-shaft out. This has to start from the scalp. And if the scalp is not healthy, the grass is not clean, the soil is deformed and filled of a lot of foolishness, then the product can't be, the follicle or the flower can't grow. So growth serum works in that fashion. It helps to clean and clear the scalp and reduce and slightly, when I say slightly reduce, the inflammation. And then at the same time, it is going to help with the new growth of that said follicle. So it's strengthening, but it's also helping with the new hair that's coming in. So if I got my ends trimmed end of August, when am I due for another one? I have natural hair. If you got your ends trimmed end of August, then you want to follow the time schedule calendar, which is at least every 12 to 16 weeks. So 3 to 4 months away from August is when your next trim is. Anywhere between month 3 and month 4. I have alopecia areata, but even though my hair fine, it is so hard. What can I use? Well, it depends on why it's hard, Jillian. You have to give me a little more backstory. Why is it hard? What are you doing to it? What haven't you done to it? Like, be a little more descriptive. So reformat that question and then put those answers to the 2 questions that I just asked you with that question and then repaste it. Thanks, Grasshopper. Will you ever sell? Okay. Will I ever sell? Will I ever sell the H2 Pro Diamond Micro 1-inch titanium flat iron? So I'm gonna readjust your question because I get what you're saying now. Will there ever be a sale on the H2 Pro Black Diamond? It's very rare that we do sales on tools. If we do, it's usually on a special sale, and usually we'll mark it down by dollar amount because that's not a product that we make. That's a product that we bring in third party as a distributor and we resell it. Right? So we resell, we are resellers. So with that, if they're not offering it as a sale, then we are taking away from our own profits by offering it on sale. So usually it's only on major sale days. When did you do your hair? I did it yesterday, Daddy. I went to the salon yesterday. What are your best products for transitioning hair? So Mila, it's not really about the fact that you're transitioning. You need to cater to both the relaxed and the natural hair. So you're going to be using both. You're going to be alternating between the Moist Repair and even the Empress Collection because you have to still nurture that relaxed hair until you cut it off. So I wouldn't transition for too much longer. Transitioning should be done within a year, and then that's basically time when it's time for a big chop because eventually that relaxed hair is going to die on its own and start breaking. Octavia's honey. Thank you, Tanya. Hi, Crystal. I have Caucasian hair. Should I hydrate my hair as it feels really dry? Gwen, I wouldn't say you need to hydrate because if you use our moist repair, it's going to be too heavy, especially if you have fine textured hair like most Caucasians do. So you'd want to do more of the hair repair and restore. It gives you a slight amount of moisture, but it also gives you a lot of strength as well. So it's going to give you that equal balance without overpowering or overweighing your hair in regards to the weight of those moisturizers or emollients that are used. Hi to the lovely Crystal. What's wrong? Nothing. What can I do to press my hair without severe heat damage? Heat protectant, know how to press really well, and understand not to overdo it. That's really the best advice I can give. Silk pressing is kind of like a craft. It's an art. It's kind of like an art. You have to really understand the level of pressing. Not just, oh, I'm just pressing my hair up. No, you put too much product, that can be a problem. You don't put any at all, that can be a problem. You're using a raggedy tool, that can be a problem. Like, it could be so many different things. That's why I call it an art. It's really an art. There's a lot of people say rice water is good. I don't listen to other people that's on YouTube. I listen to you, Crystal, because you are a professional hairstylist. There's professional hairstylists that say rice water is good too, and they need to be slapped. Because as a professional hairstylist, I would never depend on rice water as a way of me doing any form of hair. I am telling you to bring me dirty water. I'm buying a bag of rice, soaking it in water, and then I'm using that on your hair as protein. That's like your doctor who's about to do surgery on you deciding to go into his kitchen and get a kitchen knife rather than using a sterile scalpel. Same thing. I'm sorry, it's the same thing. Is it true to not grease your scalp and your hair and just use coconut oil? Not true. Coconut oil is one of a billion different oils. Not true. You can oil your scalp if you choose. Do it in moderation. What's wrong when you see bulbs on the ends of the hair? If you see the bulb, that means that the hair bulb itself has come out. And you're not going to see it at the end of the hair. You're going to see it at the root. So if you're seeing something at the end, that could be a fairy knot and not a bulb. Dermatologist diagnosis of alopecia, CCCA, 2 bald spots in the crown and front, small and medium spots. Would love to grow out remaining hair to help cover the spots. Now using Rogaine. Any suggestions? So Renee, I definitely encourage you to go and watch my video in regards to Rogaine. That video is kind of going to give you a lot of answers to this question you have. That video is quite long, so find that video. It's if you just type in Elite Hair Care USA Rogaine, that video will pop up, and you're going to get a ton of information related to exactly your question. Hi, my hair does not grow in the sides. What can I do if I get a cut? Will it grow back thicker? Not a question that I can answer, just face value. I don't know why it doesn't grow on the sides. I don't know if it's scarred. I don't know anything about you. So I unfortunately can't really give you an answer to will it grow back thicker, because I have to physically be in your hair. Like, I have to see, feel, and do your hair for me to do that. Like, I will never be the, oh yeah, your hair's gonna grow back, girl. When people ask me questions like that, I can't even answer. You know why? Let me tell you guys why. Because if I give you that answer, I could be giving you false hope. And at that point, I just become one of the big wigs in the world, instead of being true to myself and knowing that that's not really how it works. How you treat your hair, your genetics, right? A lot of different factors go into, will it grow back thicker? Is your hair fine texture? Is there such thing as it being thick? I have fine textured hair. My hair cannot get thick. If you guys notice, it gets longer, right? But you can still see my scalp. So technically, I can't really get back thick. So that's why I said there's so many different parameters to that kind of question. I always relax my hair, but my scalp usually gets burnt, so I want to keep a natural hair. Please, what do I turn my hair to natural? Grow it out. There's nothing else that's going to turn your hair to natural. Grow it out and cut the relaxer off. That's it. That is all. Grow it out and cut the relaxer off. That is the only way you're going to get natural. There's no product on this planet that can reverse the hair. But there's a product on this planet that can take you from natural to relax. But there's no product on the planet that can strip the relaxer and bring back your curl pattern other than you growing it out. Love your products. I have low porosity. When I need protein, which of your deep conditioners do I use? You use our Repair RX. That's an actual protein treatment. So there's the Repair RX Treat and the Repair RX Hydrate. You need both. I gray natural hair that's yellow. So you need to use a violet colored shampoo, B. Violet colored shampoo. Thank you, Obey Christ. Thank you for the free information. I have baldness in the center of my head. I've been using any and everything to promote growth. You got to stop using any and everything too. That's a part of it. Sometimes you hinder the process yourself. I'm very simplistic. Moderation. A little serum, shampoo condition, deep condition, listen to your hair, keep the tension down, move forward. That's me. Simplistic hair care. I've got a head of gray hair. I had a head of gray. How do I stop it looking yellow? I just answered that question. So Karen, that's what we're talking about, the violet color shampoo. Also, all you have shown me, I never have known. I sadly have to say your knowledge is not reaching enough people. I truly hope more people find you. The Lord bless you and yours. You are awesome. Thank you, the Cup of Joe. I appreciate it. I have gray natural hair, but it is yellow. B and Karen, violet colored shampoo is the answer to your question. Violet colored shampoo. I also have my How to Care for Gray Hair class that you can purchase on our website. That class teaches you about that same question with your gray hair plus more. So I definitely recommend you getting that class and you watch it from its entirety. Get your pen, get your paper. It's a lot of information. I love your channel. Thank you for sharing your experience, expertise, and some personal sidetracks. Thank you, Jam. When will the set return? The set of what? Do flat irons on damp hair cause damage? Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Cup of Joe, for the $5. I appreciate it. Flat irons on damp hair? Yes, your hair should be dry. Your hair should be dry. You're steaming your hair when you flat iron it wet. So why you, Crystal, is your warehouse okay? When will you get confirmation numbers for the orders we just placed? Right now, we don't have any power at the warehouse. They haven't texted us back and yet said that we have it back yet. We got a text that said we have to wait because their focus is residential. So the power's been out since Thursday night. We went there Friday. We still didn't have power back yet. So I'm hoping by Monday, power is restored. Crystal, you're a lovely person. What's wrong with your hair when you see bulbs on the end? I just answered that one. Hair balm is the bomb. I just love it and it smells so good. Thank you. Don't forget, peeps, the only cost for this lesson is to hit the thumbs up button. Thank you, Daddy. Absolutely. If you haven't already closed your chat and hit that thumbs up button, please do that now. Please, please, please. That's all I ask you guys to do while I give you information for the free 99. Like, come on. You can do it. What is causation hair? I'm gonna assume you say, what is Caucasian hair? Hair of a white person. Just like if they said, what is ethnic hair? We don't have to go in detail to say that you're from Africa, that you are from Antarctica, that you are from Jamaica. Just technically means black hair. Black people's textured hair. That's what they really insinuate. So Caucasian hair is those of Caucasian descent. White people. You guys ask me some of the craziest things. And I know you work with white people. You see them every day. They are named Caucasian. And Junie taught me this because they came from the Caucasus Mountains. That's how they are called Caucasians. They were bred from, or originated from, not bred, originated from the Caucasus Mountains. I love you guys. Okay. I'm just gonna go back to the next question. It's cool. Thank you, Patsy. I have central, okay, you got CCCA. Okay, Janae. Caused by hair relaxer mishap and major health issues. I'm under dermatologist care for my condition. Do you recommend I cut my hair down? I'd have to see your hair, Janae, to tell you that. Cutting it down doesn't necessarily fix the problem. Cutting it down is not going to fix the problem. It might fix how it looks, but it's not going to fix the problem. So I would need to see your hair. I definitely would recommend you can book a one-on-one consultation, and then we'll be able to discuss it where I can actually see your hair. Verifying after I use the deep conditioning mask and rinse it out, then I can use the shine booster treatment. Do I need to use a processing cap with it? I have salt and pepper natural hair. Yes, Miss Gwen. So when you do your deep conditioning mask, honestly, I would probably say cocktail the two. So I'd use more of the shine booster treatment and just add a little bit of the deep conditioning mask to it, right? So you have 2 parts shine treatment, 1 part deep conditioning mask. Mix them together, put it on your hair, put a processing cap on, go under your dryer for 15 minutes. You just did a deep conditioning mask and a shine boosting treatment all at the same time. But the shine boosting treatment is also a deep conditioner on its own. So you don't necessarily have to cocktail it. You can use it as a standalone. It is a deep conditioner. It is a conditioning shine boosting treatment. Thank you, Francine. Do make products for relaxed gray hair? Yes, Lisa. Our products are for all hair textures. What one or ones of your product or products would you suggest on Caucasian hair with cancer? It's growing in again. I'm worried about it falling out again. So the cup of Joe, are you in remission? Or the person that you're asking the question for, are they in remission? That's the first question. I am a very visual person, Pac. I learn by seeing and by doing. I can learn by reading too. I guess I'm a multi learning style because I can learn by reading too. I learn by seeing, I learn by doing, I learn by reading, and I learn by hearing. So I use all of my senses and learn. I can do that. So I guess you call that self-sufficient. I think that's what that one's called. Or self-propelled. Self-propelled, I think. Self-propelled. What's the best heat protector for you to use on natural hair before pressing your hair and avoids damage? That would be this baby right here, our Frizz Tamer and Shine Serum. It looks just like that. The Frizz Tamer and Shine Serum is a heat protectant, a shine boosting silicone, and an environmental protector. You can use it for all 3. Hey Atlanta, I love, love, love your work. I have 2 questions. First, how can I get an appointment because your schedule stays booked? Second, what do you suggest for salt and pepper hair care? So Virginia, 2 answers. First, appointments are booked online at elitehaircareusa.com. Secondly, to question number 1, my book opens on the 15th of every month for the following month. I do not open my book months ahead of time. The only time that is an exclusion, or there's an exclusion to that, is the month of October. So October 15th, I opened a calendar for the entire November and December because more than likely people know where they're going and when they're going somewhere for the holidays. So I opened for November and December altogether. Any other time, the 15th of the previous month is for the following month. So it would have been October 15th, I opened for November. You're not gonna see December, you're not gonna see January if I don't have the exclusion like I just said. Right? So if you're trying to book for next February, you have to wait until next January 15th. Second part of your question, what do I suggest for salt and pepper hair care? I would highly suggest, number 1, that you go and get our class, How to Care for Gray Hair. That class gives you product recommendation. It gives you gray hair knowledge. It tells you how to understand your gray hair. It tells you the do's and don'ts of gray hair. It tells you how to correct yellow in gray hair. It tells you how to do color correction in gray hair. It talks about the foundation and the evolution of gray hair, how you become gray. It talks about all of that. So I'm going to suggest you and recommend you go and get that class. That is $27. That is going to change your entire outlook on how you see your salt and pepper hair, how you deal with your salt and pepper hair, and what you use to deal with your salt and pepper hair. That is what that class does. Thank you, G. Hughes. I'm low porosity and dry. I use the moist shampoo and conditioner. Is there anything that I can use with the hair gel to keep my hair moist as well as without drying it out? Gel is made to dry it out, Genevieve. That's the purpose of gel. So we had come up with this elite curl kind of situation where you basically dampen the hair, you apply a little bit of frizz tamer and shine serum to the hair, and then you apply, excuse me, then you apply your gel, and then you add a little bit more frizz tamer and shine serum, scrunching it up. It keeps it from super drying, right? So it doesn't dry out as much, and it also keeps it not so hard. But it also depends on the gel that you're using. I'm from London. I'm in my 50s and I had locks for 20 years. I'm finding my locks get quite dry. What do you recommend? The Moist Repair, the Moist Me 24 karat mask as well. So I would definitely say the Moist Repair shampoo and conditioner and the 24 karat mask. And you can go back and forth doing different cocktails or just using the Moist Me as your conditioner or just using the Moist Repair as your conditioner. You get options. I'm new to Elite family. I have a birthday coming up, so I can't wait until the 15th to make an appointment. Just moved to Orlando. All right, Francine. Happy early birthday. I've been using your edge repair, and my edges have been growing back. Thanks, Crystal. Thank you, Jamie. Can you please do a round brush tutorial for natural hair? I don't do round brush tutorials on natural hair. You know why? Because round brushing on natural hair that's basically me doing a silk press when I can just do a silk press. And round brushing can easily break the bond in the hair too. So you got to be careful because you're over manipulating hair. So you're overly brushing and applying blow dryer heat at high heat and trying to manipulate the hair. Eventually that bond can break and it can break very quickly. That's why I don't even demonstrate it. The most you guys will see me use a roller brush on natural hair is at the root level. And even now I don't even do that anymore. I can just use the hot comb or a flat iron, one or the other. So it's rare you'll see me using a round brush on my client. Very rare. I love your channel and the knowledge you provide. I'm relaxed and want to know how I can get highlights done 2 months post-relaxer. So you're almost at retouch. So you can't really, I don't recommend doing the highlights. You need to go ahead and get your retouch, and then you wait 2 to 3 weeks after the retouch, and then you get your highlights, because highlights cannot touch relaxer. Okay, so that's the reason why usually about a week to 2 weeks after the relaxer, you do those highlights so that you can stay on your new growth schedule. You might have to go 2 more weeks on your relaxer, but we can only retouch new growth that's not highlighted. So that's why I don't even recommend you doing the highlights yet. You need to do your retouch first, and then immediately after that, do those highlights. I'm white and never knew where white people came from, not lying. Pilot Pete, I didn't know either, but thanks to Junie. He's the one that told me that they come from, that's how they got the name Caucasian. Caucasus Mountains. I'm gonna Google it while we chat. He's the one that told me that about the Caucasus Mountains. I didn't even know that was a thing. I never even focused on where the word Caucasian came from. Okay, here's the answer. So all I typed in is, where did the word Caucasian come from? The word Caucasian, rather obsolete and outdated term now, actually comes from the region of the Caucasus. After a visit to the Caucasus Mountains, a German anthropologist first used the term Caucasian for a derogatory system of racial classification dating from the 18th century. Who says my man don't know his thing? My man know his thing. My man was the one that told me, he's like, white people come from the Caucasus Mountains. That's why they call them Caucasians. So shout out to Judy, because he's the one that taught me that. It's an unfortunate circumstance that the beautiful region, home to early traces of human civilization and immense culture, is associated with such a dark system of characterization. But you see how they would describe that word? Oh my gosh, it's such a disgrace that they're using this dark system of categorization. But when you use the N word, you don't put us in that category. It's intense. It's intense. It's intense. Thank you, Miss Gwen. All right, let's go back to some questions. I'll have to purchase your class. I'm in Hudson Valley. Absolutely, Lisa. Daughter went from long, thick, natural hair to now neck, shoulder length, all from her calling herself dyeing and bleaching, watching YouTube. So you already know, until we can get an appointment, she needs to get an appointment. Get an appointment. And I actually have appointments in October. I have a Tuesday available in October. One Tuesday, that's it. I have relaxed hair. What are the 2 products you would recommend? It's not 2 products. I would say the Hair Repair and Restore collection or the Empress collection. You can use either or. How can I tell what grade my hair? We don't measure human hair by grade. That's how you measure weaves. And even that doesn't mean anything. Oh, you have 10 A quality bundles and it still looks like trash. So we don't really measure grade on human hair. What I might say, oh, you have some really good hair. Because in my eyes, that's my interpretation of what I call good. So it's not really, grade, there's no grade. We're not talking about cows. We're talking about hair. As long as you do your best to take care of your hair, and you have a great grade of hair. People might look at my hair being relaxed and say I have a horrible grade of hair because I have a relaxer. So we don't use grade. Why does my hair dry out so much after locks for 8 years? Because it's matted, split-ended, matted hair. That's really what it is. And then when you comb it out, that's just split ends that's been dying to be cut. How can I use the Elite Hair Repair Growth Balm? It's a scalp ale, so you put it on your scalp. Do you like Olaplex as a protein? Nope. I like Elite Repair RX as a protein. I don't use Olaplex. If I ever use Olaplex, it's for hair color. That's all. I don't use it for anything else. Look at my dad telling people to do the porosity test, do the water test. No. My dad's been on here way too long. He's telling y'all to do the water test. Oh my gosh. My dad's been on here way too long, you guys. Is it okay to cocktail leave-in conditioners? You don't really have to. I don't think you really have to. Use one or the other. They both have good benefit. Thank you, Jean. I just got on. I first saw your video last night and enjoyed your passion and talent. Where are you in Florida? I'm in, you could say Orlando. Just say Orlando. When am I coming to New York? Not right now. I'm not coming to New York to do hair. My hair is extremely thick and I need help. So what's wrong with it, Sharon? What help do you need? It being extremely thick doesn't really tell us anything. That just sounds like something to celebrate. How important is proxicity? How important is proxicity? What is proxicity? Can somebody define proxicity? Let me define that word first before I answer you. Define proxicity. Now I know what proximity is, but proxicity. Yeah, I don't see the word proxicity. Proximity is in relation. How far in relation? Space. Can you tell me what is proxicity? And then I can attempt to answer the question. Pack. Porosity. Okay. Porosity is super important. Porosity is super duper important. We actually have a class that talks about porosity, so you can even refer to that. Porosity. Porosity is definitely, it is going to save you the most money when you have to buy products. It's going to tell you everything that you need to know about your hair outside of texture and type. I had to go as far as Googling that question because I was like, what is proxicity? Is that a word that I don't really know? Where do we find the link to the class? If you go to elitehaircareusa.com, under the category classes, and there's a category, it says classes, you'll see that on the shop menu. Am I coming to Atlanta? No, not anytime soon, to be honest. How can you tell if you're a 1B, 2C, etc.? So natural hair is not measured by 1B, 2C. Natural hair is measured by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and level 10. So we are measured by levels. A level 1 is black. Level 2 is like off black slash light, or sorry, slash dark brown. Number 3 is dark brown. So it really just depends on the color company you're using. That determines how they measure the levels of color. So we don't really go by, I'm a 1B, I'm a 2C. That's for weave. We're talking about real hair. Now, once you know what color your real hair is, then you can compare that to the weave to determine what your color is. And again, even weave companies, their colors are different. So this company, Milky Way, number 1 might be a solid black. Sensational number 1 might be like not so solid black. That's how that kind of goes. And then again, you guys, we extended the hurricane of a sale. So during the hurricane of a sale, everything's 40% off. Could you guys, let's stop for a second. Let's talk a little story time. So today I decided to extend the 40% off sale, which was our hurricane of a sale, right? That was the punchline to the sale, hurricane of a sale. That's all it said. So a lot of you got an email today that said we're having a hurricane of a sale. Meaning, when someone says we're having a hurricane of the sale, that doesn't mean that we're celebrating a hurricane. We're using the word to depict that we are having a sale that will blow you away. Okay? Or we're having a sale that is out of this world, or a sale that is just so good you can't refuse. That kind of thing. Why did we get 2 emails from 2 people that basically said, oh, that was a distasteful use of words? What? How 1 go with 2? So what the first person, I personally responded because I looked at it in a sense of we are really wasting time on the wrong things. The second one, I just told them not to even respond. But I personally responded to the first one on purpose because people need to learn to stop playing with me. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, people need to learn to stop wasting their time about stupid things. People get hung up on really stupid things. Oh, that's really distasteful. So her response was, that's really distasteful. A couple people died through the hurricane. Okay, but there's jokes out there about COVID and 1 million people died. No one's telling the pharmaceutical companies not to put these jokes out. Are you sending emails and letters to them telling them that it was distasteful? Look how many COVID jokes are out there on t-shirts, on TV, in movies, in TV shows, and you're not wasting your time telling them that it's distasteful. And millions of people died. Millions of people died from COVID, but you didn't waste your time doing that. So because we named the sale, hey, we're having a hurricane of a sale that's gonna blow you away. Oh, that's super distasteful. So let me read my response, because you guys know I do not hold my tongue. When I saw the first one, I sat back, I thought about the answer first, and then I responded. They never responded back because people know said, don't run with me. Okay, hold on. I am gonna find it because I just looked at it like, what? Okay. Where's my response? Ah, I'm in the wrong email. People are so retarded. Okay, hold on. Here we go. So the person says the description of this sale is in poor taste. There have been numerous deaths attributed to Hurricane Ian. Absolutely, there has been good amount. But guess what? I, as a human being, can take it any direction I choose. You know why? Because I am one of the people who lives right here in the beautiful sunshine state of Florida who was affected by this same hurricane. But I'm still here. And at the end of the day, why am I going to sit here and be super sad about something that God has blessed us to pass it by? That's my choice. That's my choice. You don't have to partake in the sale, but feeling like you have to respond. Oh my gosh, that's distasteful. What part of it is distasteful? COVID was distasteful, but millions of people died. I don't see you around here campaigning on the front lawn of the White House about anything. So let me finish, because y'all know how Crystal is. Like, I've changed a lot. I've learned to not respond a lot of times, but when it's things like this, I had to really give it to them in a respectable manner, because I'm a respectable person. So my response was, hello, blank. Blank's name doesn't matter. Thank you for your email. You always thank people for their email. You always say thank you, no matter how rude they were, okay? That's one customer service thing that I've learned over the years. You always thank people, no matter if it was good or bad. Thank you so much for your email. Now let's get into the context or the body. I said, as it stands, we're all in Florida and we're literally affected. Okay? Rather than looking for a reason to portray your negative energy towards something as small as a sale email that didn't mention anything towards the lives of anyone affected by the storm, it would be even more appreciated giving your time to potentially helping those who were affected just as we are and have been doing. Best wishes to you, and we truly hope you were safe during Hurricane Ian if affected. Kind regards, blah, blah, blah. I answered that right. I feel like I answered that really professional. I really just told you to go find something and do it your time. Stop wasting my time. You wasted email space. Outlook charges me for every email that I have to store up into their system. And right now you just used up an email. You just used up a whole email space. Come on. You could have saved that and kept the thought in your head. That's a holler. You could have just kept the thought up in your little mind up there. Because what does that have to do with me? My gosh, you guys. All the picture said, it had a picture of the beach with a palm tree. I promise you, it had a picture of the beach with a palm tree, and it said, a hurricane of a sale, 40% off everything. Code word, Ian. Now let Walmart have put a commercial on TV that said, we're having a hurricane of a sale, everything 40% off. I guarantee she'd be in Walmart right now, buying every product they had. But you choose to do it in my email box. You choose to do it in my email inbox. You just chose mine for today. I just had to really really look at it. Like, do you find something for you to do? Go donate to the Red Cross. Go give some blood. Those are the kinds of things you should be doing. Not in my inbox telling me about a stupid email that said really nothing. It says we're having a hurricane of a sale. It's a figure of speech. I could see if I had sent like the N-word, or I said something like racially biased, or I said something about someone's child, or it's just something very out of the way, very vulgar, very inappropriate. But what? I'm sorry, what? If you don't find something to do, you know how much trash outside we go pick up? Why you don't go do that? Why you don't go figure that out? You in my inbox? So you are, go pick up the twigs that blew away. Go do something like that. Don't waste my time. Don't go waste your time on my email. Outlook already tried to charge me for storage, and you came and stored up my thing. Let me delete your emails again after I answered you. I just thought it was funny. No, Sharon, I'm not defending myself, but I have to share these funny moments with you guys because these are the things that people deal with. You have to deal with negative Nancy's and kooky Karens. You have to deal with them. You have to deal with them. I was just like, I could see if I was living in Chicago and making an email that I'm having a hurricane of a sale. Was Chicago affected, or do I live in the city of Orlando? People take things, people, you know why? Because people read and listen to argue. I'm one of those people. I can admit to that. I'm one of those people. Sometimes I read and listen to argue. Other times I read and listen to understand. And sometimes it's very hard to read and understand and listen to understand because we come out negative all the time anyway. But what? Girl, if you don't go outside, go find something to do. They need plasma. Go donate some. That's what we do. Let's go back to the questions. But that was my little story time, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I haven't had really good story times in a while. So that was really a highlight of my day. You rock like a hurricane. How about music, really words? You have a class, forget about it. Absolutely. Do you recommend a weekly protein? I do not recommend weekly proteins. You would never hear me say that. Protein is only when needed. I should come to Toronto. I need to come to Toronto. I have family there. Jackie, I don't block people. I only block like trolls that come onto my little YouTube. So yeah, I don't have no time to be blocking you because guess what? You might not like me today, but I might run a good sale that you agree with the subject line and then patronize me a week from now. So what am I gonna block you for? That's blocking my check. I don't do that. You might not like this subject line, but maybe next week my subject line might be I like bologna. You like bologna. So you like to go and shop a 30% off bologna sale. Everybody's different. What do you recommend for fine hair that is thinning? Brittany, it kind of the why is it thinning? That's the question I'm gonna ask. Why is it thinning? Hey, Miss A. They are paying you a lot of attention. They need to subscribe to the channel. They do. Grasshopper said, I didn't see any palm tree. So, guys, you guys want me to show you this? I promise you, it was honestly, it was really one of the most cheesy email pictures that I've ever created. It was very cheesy in my eyes, but I created it really quickly because you have to sometimes be spurred of the moment. So I'm gonna show you guys what this email looked like. Okay, let me bring this up here. Okay, right here, look here. Y'all see that? That's all it said, you guys. I promise. It says save on your hair care faves during our hurricane of a sale. That's it. The most cheesiest picture I've ever made in my life. And that's all it said. I promise. I can't make this up. Boy. How often to wash scalp if you have dandruff? You can still do your 10 to 14 days. Try not to do too less than that. Why? You're gonna end up drying the scalp out more and it's gonna be even more dandruff. The hurricane of a sale, the code is IAN. 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 40% is a lot. It's so cute how your Jamaican accent comes out when people change you. Listen, I try not. Grasshopper said, I never saw the palm tree. It was actually 2 in that picture. It's about the earlier question on mute, or could they also be talking about texture, curl type of hair? Aha! But 1A is relaxed hair or straight hair. 2B is just straight wavy hair. Oh yeah, you're right. They were talking about that. Thank you so much, Pac. They were talking about textures. See, sometimes you gotta be checked. Yeah. I'm sorry, I kind of missed that. I don't even remember the actual question now, so I can't answer. All right, Cup of Joe. Cancer is not in remission. So Caucasian hair that is identical to your hair, but it's falling out, what products can help? So Couple Joe, the reason why I asked, are you in remission? Is because if you're not in remission, there is no purpose of you putting anything on your hair just yet. Do not mess with your hair at this point. Wait, and we're going to put some knots here. We're going to thank you, Jesus, for you. Wait until the moment you are in remission and you know that you are done with your treatments. Then you focus on doing anything with your hair. Right now, I wouldn't focus on that hair because your hair can do whatever it wants during this time. Until you are cancer-free and in remission, don't focus on your hair because it can change several times. It can change several times. So right now, the care of your hair doesn't really matter. Why? Because more than likely, you might be doing chemo or even radiation. Both are detrimental to the follicle. So do nothing right now. Wait until you have gotten to the point where you're 100% cancer-free, which will be soon. We're going to put that in the air. And at the same time, wait until you're in remission. Shine Booster is sold out. Crystal, what's up with hairstylists who starts to have ladies washing their clients, waiting for silk press while she's still styling a client's hair? So, protect your peace, great question. I do that. You know why? Because as an ethnic hairstylist, we don't do one client at a time. You know why? Because if we were to do one head that requires 2 to 3 hours out of our day, and we only work 8 hours a day at the prices that we charge that are affordable in our area, we would not be able to survive. So with that being said, having a shampoo girl is not foreign language. Every salon has shampoo girls. Very common, okay? Number two, if you have to wait a couple minutes, you just have to wait a couple minutes. Unless you decide that you want to pay $1,800 to be the only actual client in the salon, and you come in and you sit all by yourself, you get serviced all by yourself, super private appointment, you want these different VIP luxuries, you have to pay VIP prices. Because if not, your stylist who's charging you $60, even $120 for you to sit in the salon for 3 hours, pay rent, pay utilities, pay for products, and all they're worrying about is doing just that one client for 3 hours, your stylist would not be around for very long. And even in other cultures, those stylists don't typically do one client at a time. They might be styling one client at a time while the other client is processing for an hour, or that other client is being shampooed by a shampoo tech, or that other client is awaiting their color to be mixed up. That happens. It doesn't matter what nationality, it doesn't matter what kind of stylist. You know why? Because not many stylists or clients are getting paid $1,000 a client, where you can afford to sit with a person for 3 hours and appease them. So sometimes we have to kind of get out of that mentality that you want to get into the salon and get right out for $75, for even $150. Your doctor, who is making $200 to $300 a patient, isn't even in your room waiting on you when you come in. He has about 6 other patients in 6 other rooms. And every time you come in there, he talks to you. If you notice, he's talking to you real quick. You got 3 minutes and he's out. So why do you give that same stipulation to a hairstylist? Because we're a hairstylist and it's not a respected career path? Because that's typically what happens. And I'm not saying you in specific, I'm just talking out loud. Because we're hairstylists, it's one of the most unappreciated, undervalued careers in the world. But at the same time, it requires a license and school of more than a year. Some professions that you give a lot of value to, they went to school for 3, 4, 5, 6 months, like CNA. Medical assistant. Medical assistants don't even go to school for 1,200 hours. Some go less than that. So I just feel like, number one, if your stylist sets the expectations for you ahead of time, they communicate with you, you know, if they communicate with you, hey, I'm gonna have you sit here, you'll be under the dryer for about 15 minutes. I'm one of those stylists. You'll be over here for a couple minutes. Hey, sweetheart, I'm gonna have you sit over here. I need to finish curling her and then I'll bring you back. I'm giving you the expectation, but at the same time, when a client books an appointment with me, I let them know, hey, my services can be anywhere between 2 and 4 hours. Okay, so anywhere between 2 and 4 hours means, please, if you have an emergency, that is not my emergency. Make sure you know that you will be in the salon for anywhere between 2 and 4 hours. It could be less, but it will never be more because I've set the expectation. And I'm gonna be very, very honest. A client that comes to me and they rush me, knowing that I've already set the expectation by giving you all of the information, sweetheart, you will get refunded and have a great day. I have no stress in my channel. I have none. None, 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 none. Because a lot of the clients, and not specifically you, when a lot of the clients come in with this notion that you feel like you should be the only stylist, only client sitting with that stylist, and you're paying for her time. Well, sweetheart, if you're gonna pay me to sit with me for 3 hours, my check is $1,000 or better. Because right now, you cannot pay me enough to be a VIP client. You're gonna pay me VIP money. You're gonna pay me Beyonce style money. Because guess what? Beyonce is paying her stylist Beyonce style money so that no one is in that room with her. Absolutely, you can pay me. You can pay me and we can sit together. We can chat for 3 hours. Perfect. No problem. You want me to drive you to your kid's school? Okay, we need to add another stack. So that sounds like a $2,000 appointment. And even then, I'm not doing it. So let's just kind of get out of that notion and understand that if you're going to a professional stylist, they're going to set these expectations first. Secondly, you're going to come in understanding how this works, and they are going to respect your time and you're going to respect theirs. Thank you, Stephanie. So I hope that answered your question. Because I am one of those stylists where I can have 4 clients at a time, but not one of my clients can say that they've ever been in a room with me for more than 3 hours. Not one. Unless you're doing a service that is so long-term, like a color, where I cannot literally tell you how long the processing is gonna be. That's different. But any of my other clients, no, Crystal's getting you in and out of there. I can do 7 people between 9 and 2 p.m. and still be out of the salon. I can do 7 people between 9 and 2 and still be out of the salon before 3:30. So I hope that answered your question. Just saw your video on Real Game. Which products of yours would you suggest? I use alopecia, salt, and pepper, relax, dry, and itchy scalp. Renee, you can use our Soothe and Balance pre-treatment. You can use our Soothe and Balance collection. You can use the Hair Repair and Restore collection. You can use the Super Growth Serum. You can even use the Hair Repair Serum. Do you recommend daily use of clove water? I know nothing about clove water for me to tell you that. Which one of your irons is best to use on salt and pepper hair, please? It depends on if you're natural or relaxed, and if your hair is fine, medium, or coarse textured. Empress collection is a strengthening collection. Repair and Restore is exactly what it is. Repair and Restore. Empress is a strengthening collection. Not everyone needs to repair their hair. Some people just need to strengthen their hair. The sale is over tomorrow night at 11:59 p.m. Shampoo girls don't have to have licenses to shampoo hair. No. Shampoo girls do not have to have a license to shampoo hair as long as they are specifically shampooing. I don't allow my shampoo person to put relaxer on or colors that are like permanent colors that require me to mix with my expertise. My shampoo girl can do shampoos, and if I'm very comfortable with them, like Ash, they can apply a rinse. And that means bowl and brush to your hair, because that you can buy in the store and do it yourself. That is really all my shampoo person. They don't do relaxers. They don't do high lift colors. They don't do lighteners. They don't even do toners. I don't even let my shampoo person do toner. Not even. Oh, I have hair loss the last 2 years. Alopecia, I believe. Completely bald, top rear. Hair on sides and front cut short. Thanks for clarifying. I had an incident where shampoo tech didn't properly dry my hair and she had to backtrack when she came for me, sit it her hair. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, protect your peace. That can happen even with your hairstylist. I will have blow dried my client's hair, thought that she was ready to go to start silk pressing her, get all the way to the crown, and her crown is still wet. And guess what I gotta do? Blow dry it. It's just a user error, and it's not really something that's a big deal. I don't really see that as a big issue. That can happen with a licensed cosmetologist. Your doctor forgets information about you. Yeah, yeah, yep. Okay, nobody, I'm gonna answer your question in just a second. I saw your question. What two collections can you alternate for relaxed hair? Empress and hair repair, or actually, Empress and hair repair is the strength or repair, and then moisture repair is the moisture. So you're gonna alternate moisture and strength or moisture and repair, either or. I'm in Orlando. I love and respect the heck out of you, Ms. Crystal. As a medical assistant, I had to go to school for years and do an internship of 350 hours and 12 weeks. Exactly. So for cosmetology, I had to go to school for 2 years and take a state board. And when I'm done, then at that point, that doesn't even make me a hairstylist. That just means that I'm a licensed hairstylist. After that, I was an apprentice for 2 years because hair school doesn't teach you how to do hair. So technically, I was in school for 4 years. So that's why I say what I say, because even though you have a cosmetology license, that doesn't teach you how to do hair. You have no clue the world you're entering. You can't do a relaxer. It just taught you how to do it based on book standards. Relaxing is an art. Working with hair is an art. So you still have to apprentice. Most people who get a cosmetology license has been doing hair for at least 2 years or more, or after they get their license, they don't even go straight into doing hair because they still are the baby stylists. And you now have to do an apprenticeship for a year or two because you know nothing. So that's why I say what I say. Because I was an assistant for 2 years. And even after that, I still wasn't ready to sit behind a chair. I was not ready. I did not know enough. And when I did step in that chair, I still didn't know enough. As a cosmetologist, you have to continue your education. It's not like an RN where you can go and you go to school, you get this RN license, you take your state board, and you can go straight into a hospital and you do everything. Not really. Because as a hairstylist, our power is in our hands. And if you don't know how to manipulate and do certain things, you can't do your job effectively. If you're not continuing to stay up with the trend, you're not continuing, you're not progressing. You're not going anywhere past the fact that you got a piece of paper that said you have a license. That's why I have so much respect for my career, because it never ends. It never stops. I'm always trying to figure something out because trends are always going. Products are always changing. Products are always not available. People are not available. Things are not available. You have to figure it out and you have to do it on your toes. So yeah, this is definitely a career choice. This is a lifelong career because it's not something that you pick up and you just say, you know what, I know how to do hair, so I'm just gonna get a license. Okay. That's why a lot of these cosmetologists only do sew-ins, because it doesn't require a thought. It doesn't require you to actually have a skill. You just have to know how to make it look nice. That's it. Relaxing, coloring, permanent waving requires a lot. It requires a lot of knowledge, and you have to know product education. You have to know product knowledge. If you don't understand product, you cannot do your job. If you don't understand the anatomy of the head, you cannot do your job. If you don't know how to do a haircut, you cannot do your job. These are the things that you have to learn outside of that license. But yeah, you guys know I'm really passionate when it comes onto my career. This was my career choice. This was it. So I'm gonna defend it to the core. Now there's a lot of people that mess that up for us. There's a lot of stylists that have messed this up for us. Tons. Tons of stylists have messed this up. Yeah, tons. I would love to have my hair relaxed, but you're homebound. So I would love to have a good iron. Sandra, I think it's more just based on what you need. See, Natalie, what you said is very true. Nursing is the same. They graduate with book knowledge and no skills. Unfortunately, they aren't interested in learning. Because guess what? You see, with nursing, I'm going to tell you the difference. Medical is always going to be different now. I don't want you guys to think that I'm saying that we are better than nurses or something of that nature. No. But listen to me. As a nurse, you cannot walk out as a nurse and say, I'm going to go start my own practice. As a hairstylist or a cosmetologist, you can walk out and say, I'm going to go start my own salon, right? Okay, so that's number one. Number two, as a nurse, you can go and work in someone's practice and they're going to train you on how to do their way of their procedures. As a cosmetologist, you are either going to go into a salon where they're going to train you how to do things based on their practice, or you're going to branch out on your own and you're going to do things the faulty way that you've been doing it and learn by error. Okay, number three, as a nurse, you have state standards that you must follow for you to do your job. So they are already outlined and said, hey, you have to wear gloves when you do this. You cannot put a patient's information here. We cannot use this product and this product together because you cannot recommend any form of product. All you do, take paperwork, give the medications, whatever is in this extent of your license, that's all you do because it's outlined for you in this box. Whereas a cosmetologist, there's no box. The box says how to not cross-contaminate and how to prevent bloodborne diseases. That's the box. Outside of that, you don't have to know how to do a relaxer to be a cosmetologist. You just have to know how to read to be a cosmetologist. So at the end of the day, when we step outside our box, we're on our own. Whereas in nursing, when you step outside your box, you can't. There's no such thing. Outside your box means that you decided not to do nursing at all. So I only like to use the nurse thing as an example, you guys. So I don't want people to feel like I'm comparing us to nurses, and no, I'm just using it as one form of example. A nurse is a nurse, cosmetologist is a cosmetologist. We all got to take a state board. One, you can get away with foolishness and not know what you're doing. The other one, you can't. Nursing, you can't play with people's health because there's a box that you have to stay in. Cosmetology, you can play with people's hair. You don't even have to know how to do hair, but you can be a cosmetologist and you can people's head quickly, easily, effortlessly. It's easy. It's really easy. In Cosmo school, I jacked up a lot of heads. I jacked up plenty butchered haircuts. Plenty hair colors telling you that it still looks nice. Everything looks great. When you go out in the sun, it's going to look a lot brighter. Plenty brushing over the patch that I put in the back of your head because I was trying to do a shortcut. Didn't know what I was doing. Been doing plenty of those. Yep, absolutely. Yeah. So that was just my little synopsis, guys. I'm not comparing myself to the medical field. You know what I mean? Like where I'm at now is more on the medical end because I like to practice trichology, but I'm not comparing myself to them. I was more talking about the fact that as a cosmetologist, there's certain standards you have to have. And we have to go to school longer and learn a lot more than a lot of people that you encounter every day. And we have to keep doing it over and over and over again. Sometimes you'll do all 5 classes in a week after you've had your license for 5 years. You're still doing classes because you can't figure something out. You got to know how to do it. I know stylists who've been cosmetologists for 10 years and you still can't do a haircut. You still can't do a basic cut. So, yeah. Oh, it's plenty doctors who mess up. That's why they get that big old plaque on the wall that tells you if they don't have malpractice insurance because it's so high. Do you see yourself moving away from hairstyling to do hair science stuff in the future? I see myself moving away from hairstyling to focus on my brand. I'm not gonna focus on hair science. My brand is the hair science. That's where I see myself. My brand is my hair science. All right, you guys, I'm kind of tired. I've been on here going on an hour and a half, speaking and talking and talking. So for those of you that did get answers to your questions, there was one question that I am going to go back and answer because I did tell her I was going to answer it. Hold on. The question with the 1A, 2B. Here we go. Nobody. Nobody but God said, hi, Crystal. I was the one that asked about the 1A, 2B hair. I apologize. I forgot to put texture curl type behind it. I'll rephrase the question. How do you know if you have 1A or 2B curl texture hair? So those numbers are on a chart. That chart depicts the look of the follicle. So when you take one strand of hair and you look at it, if it's bone straight, then you're a 1A. If it has a slight large wave to it, then you're a 2B. That's how that works. It's really a picture chart. There is really no actual definition. That is a chart that someone came up with in the natural world to kind of put you guys in different brackets so they can put products in it. That's really what it is. So 1A and 2B, they're kind of right in the same family because it's straight wavy. It could have a big S, and that's a 2B. But it just could be today that it has a big S, and tomorrow you're a 1A. So they're the same in my eyes. All right, you guys. So you guys go and shop my overly sensitive hurricane of a sale while it's still going on. The code is IAN, I-A-N, for those of you that want to shop the sale. Wait, what? Oh, I'm going to answer this question. How can you tell if your beautician care about hair? I want someone to help me to take care of my hair. How can you tell if they care about hair? How they move, how they work, product knowledge. Do they educate you when they're doing it? When you see them doing other people's hair, are they working with efficiency? Are they working that, showing that they understand what they're doing? They have actual rapport. That's the only way you can really tell. Because guess what? A lot of these little Instagram stylists that you guys see, where they put these very filtered pictures up, pictures can be deceiving and so can videos. That's why I don't edit or retouch a lot of my videos. The most editing that I do is cutting off time. That's all. So how you know if I'm a good stylist? Because I like to go live and you guys see me work. That's how I show how good I am. I can show you my work live, not on an edit, not on a picture. I can show you what I'm doing, raw footage, raw form. That's how you know a good stylist, when you can sit there and you watch them do what they're doing. Some stylists are not into the technology world, but if you can sit there in a salon and watch them do hair and watch how they do things and watch what they say, watch how they're doing it, are they educating the client? Are they educating themselves? Then that tells you a lot about their character. So I hope that answered your question. All right, you guys, I hope you guys have a good remaining Saturday. I will see, this thing smells so good. I will see everybody later. As I said, please don't forget to go and shop the Super Sensitive Hurricane of a sale. The code is IAN. The sale is over tomorrow at 11:59 p.m. And I will see everybody later. Peace.